Good morning to everybody. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, and we're covering some more Etheria restart stuff. There's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I never do news when it comes down to this game. I normally only just do gameplay and just like builds and stuff like that. But since I've returned to like do try to cover more on this game, I wanted to like definitely do a revenue um little ordeal, only because I think there's like a bunch of misconception when it comes down to this game. Like on average, um, like games definitely need to bring like, and this like across the border for like all of its, like, I guess you could say everything that is covered by. You want to like have like a, not necessarily a net positive. I mean, that's what most companies are. I mean, all companies when it comes down to a business model, they go for. But when it comes down to like the breakdown and everything, you want to definitely be like at a huge net when it comes down to where you stand with the game. So now, one thing about this game is let's go back to the revenue side of things. Um, we definitely have like a bunch of like weird sometimes misconceptions when it comes down to will the game make it. Like you have a lot of people that do the whole the doom like the doom posting of games, or like, kind of just being a little over dramatic when it comes down to like, oh, the game's going to die and it's like it's just not going to do good. Okay, now we'll go back to like when the game had its like real official release, which was in April. I mean April, August of last year, 2025. Now, of course, for those who've played before that, we've actually been playing this since June of 2025, right? But it since it had its second release, technically, there's been a huge pickup, right? Of course, these numbers are very misconstrued, thrown off the wall for some for the fact that yes, it has gone down, it has gone down, but the way the game works, every 6 weeks we get a really OP character, and sometimes every 3 weeks with the character releases, and that reflects by the way this breakdown is, and that's what is very important to point out, like the total, like for the simple fact that like for the total for global since the or the official release. I mean, they say it of course it's tanked, but there's no gotcha game that sits that high for so long. Sadly, I hate to say that we run into a situation where like a game just like sits at uh X amount, like even like your games like Epic Seven and like Genshin Impact, like they do go down because that there's like the spending aspect, especially when you go like for games like this, where you don't have a 50-50 mechanic. You just like summon until you get it for like for the 80 pity that's there. I do think that this game, you won't see as much spending unless there's you go for like the duping portion of it, um, which, depending on what the unit is and like how valuable it is as far as like in the meta, which is also great by the fact that we do have a 3 week period before we get a new character. So you normally summon for the character, get the character just to have it. That's what I do. Just summon to get the character, and then like I let a week rotate for people to like mess around, come up with a build, and then you kind of roll with it. And then you still got 2 more weeks to summon for the character, and or go all out, try to P5 the character and get, whatever bonuses is needed to actually build it to like its most optimal thing. And that's what this reflects, and it's very interesting. So when the game had its re-release, or its official global release in around this time, at the end of August going into September. Of course, in August you see it's decent, but not as good as it could have been, and that's because we've already were like in the stale side of things, and of course, like global, we had like a really nasty, and like horrible situation when it came down to the game with lattices and like the resources and like funds and all that stuff. And they've since fixed it, nerfed a little bit of the expenses, but for the most part, it's still tough to like try to like get your gear where you need it to be. And this is kind of like what this shows right here is that you can see that global fell off just simply because like we kind of were suffering when it came down to for this. But like moving forward around here, this is when we started getting like the influx of I want to say Ray Mary came out around October of last year, and that is why like the sales were like crazy around this time. Of course, like we started seeing like more characters, and then like you can say 6 weeks later, like we're like in mid December, we had another LD unit drop around then, and you could tell when LD units come out because 6 weeks later, which is like now into the next month or the middle of like about a month and a half away, we have an increase in sales. And to answer the whole thing when it comes down to like, will it fall apart? Will this game EOS? I don't think for me, I just don't think so. And the reason why. All right, let's go here. Let's slide back across here if we can, if it cooperates with me. Uh, yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's go back now for April total. So it made 160,000 in Japan, made 300,000 global, and then we're sitting at 110,000 in China. So with all that together, it's easily staying above half a million, like 600,000. That is not bad, and there is other data that shows. Let's actually pull that up. I don't know why I'm incognito. Let's golly, that's weird. Yeah, we're incognito for all that. Okay. The most important thing when it comes down to let's see, gotcha game revenue charts. That's and that's like the biggest like portion of why it's it's really sad when you have like a lot of different people like really take a huge crap on games, right? And let's go all the way to the ending, the bad side of everything, right? So like what Etheria should be, yeah, like right around that. So and that's all combined. How far is that going into what? So of course, the we don't have the May specs yet. So in April for total for where's my little K at? Jesus. Whoa. All right, so it made like a little bit under 600,000, and then of course the month before a little under 500,000. So here is the issue with like Tower Fantasy is still there. Bleach Brave Soul still there. What I'm trying to show here is that like Tower of God. Oh, that fell off bad. These and then I played Anchor Panic for a while too. Like these games can still exist and don't take that much to go forward. And like this shows this all the way around. Um, and so like the bigger picture is like you really can't say, hey, this is gonna go down. Like we're not gonna make it. This ship is gonna like crash, and like we're just not gonna have like a game left to play. Not happening. Just hold tight. It like of course there's stuff that the devs need to do. Like any game, there are games that there's stuff that we need. And like there's also other things that's like super important. Like The most important thing that is interesting that I guess they just actually had something go on here. That's something that we also need to pay attention to, is that we do have games that have events and or collabs that come about. It happens, and this is like the other side of things that a lot of people don't take into account when they start, like, knocking down like these things. Like this just had like it's a 4.5 or 4.5 anniversary, a little celebration that they just had. I follow one of their content creators, or the only content creator, Ice Cold Joker. He covers a lot of that. Star Savior, of course, that was going to drop. That was not going to like make it for too long. They just got off of having like a really, really big character drop last month. And matter of fact, it was like the launch was last month. All right, so the fact that this is still around, just showing that this is a thing, and like Epic 7. I mean, that's been around forever, like forever. Chaos Zero Nightmare. You just got these games that are like not even like Chaos Zero Nightmare. You're not. There's no competitive edge to it. Like Etheria Restart, your games that have a lot of like competitive edges to it, or like any type of PvP, they do see existence within the realm of like, I mean, just like within viability, and even if it falls off, it takes a while before it falls off, right? Um, Now that I'm like looking at these, it's so sad. I need to like probably download more. Okay, so Stardive just came out. Of course, it's going to get a lot of money. People are like investing. Reverse 1999 just had their little celebration recently. That, of course, that was going to see good things. Seven Deadly Sins Origin just came out. No, not competitive, but like it's a well known IP. Like you have all these really good, like, and then Dragon Ball Legends. I don't play it, but you can only imagine. Now, NTE, everybody's waiting on that. Zenless Zone Zero just got off of having a really, 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 really big event just happen. Um, it's just a lot going on. Wuthering Waves, they just came off of an event. Arc Knight's Infield just came out like a couple months ago, or a few months ago. Really another solid game. I probably need to check out Naruto Mobile. It's only CN, but like, anyways, Genshin Impact, of course, and Honkai Star Rail. Like games that people are just investing in, and like you can only imagine where it's going to go. Now, going back to Etheria, the problem with Etheria that it has, it can potentially go under, but as far as the game goes and the way it's set up, it almost can't, as long as they do what they're normally doing. I don't know what the total amount of characters that they're going to have for the end game. That's like really the determining factor. As long as they keep coming out with solid units that don't too much power creep and kick out too many other units, this game can survive. I mean, it will survive. It's just kind of like how it pans out. Sadly, it's just it is what it is. The game can see a nasty fall, only if they don't come out with, like, worthwhile characters. And for me personally, looking at this and like looking at the way it's going, I just don't see it. I just don't see it falling off. Not anytime soon. Now, of course, you're gonna have people like not play or like find other games and and newer games, like just simply the fact that I don't know any, like, a few of the other games that exist here that I don't openly play or whatever. But these games, I mean, like for the most part, I'm looking at most of these. You can only imagine that most of these are like have like PvP aspects to it, for the most part. And I just don't see Etheria having that drop off point. Of course, for the same simple fact that it's only been out a year. We're like, oh, and that's just not even the full release. Like we're like a global North America. We've been having it for since June. So next month is going to be a year that we've had it, and there's just a lot more to come for the game. Like every not like of course like when it first came off the ground, game was super hot, super fun. There's a lot of things that they can add to it, like more story. We haven't seen more story in like a year. Is going on a year. We would like to see more story. Maybe I like we can scream more events as much as we want, but getting more events is a tough and tall order all the way around. You know, like how many more events do you want? Then take a look at the Epic Seven. Epic Seven, from what I understand, back from when other people were explaining it, from like the people that played before me and what I've watched. Epic Seven didn't have everything that it had. Seven Deadly Sins, like how much stuff that it has. Grand Cross, I mean, Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross. You know, is one of those issues that it didn't have all that at the beginning, and these games have been out for years. So you got to kind of let a game get there. You got to let a game get there, and once you let it get there, then we can move forward and just say, okay, this just isn't it. But the dooming that people do to games is just like really ridiculous. One game that I watched fall off the map was Black Clover, and I enjoyed that game. That was a really good game. I felt like it had a lot going on there. I imagine that sadly they had to drop off for like whatever the reason was, and I do miss that game. Hopefully this game doesn't EOS. I mean, I just don't see it EOSing with the revenue that is taken to like push it. I just don't see it happening. And just moving forward, I do hope that y'all like can really get into the game, enjoy it for what it is, just to kind of like cover just your daily stuff. I really just don't think that this game, um, I just don't think the game is going to run into the issues that people are portraying it to have. The like to go over the daily stuff you do. It's a typical gotcha game. You get on, you put about 15 to 20 minutes in, and then you're done until your energy stamina recharges, and then you get on and rinse and repeat, do the same thing, and then like there's like a formula for us Etheria restart players that we have. Like you have 3 weeks of shell forming, and then you have 1 weekend of module forming, and then all the 3 weeks plus the event of the module forming, and whatever else you want to do. If you want to do the GP outposts and or the investigations, you have all that to be able to generate funds, and all the way up until now it's D-Day for you to try to like push for your speeds. So with that being said, we have ways to generate how everything goes. Now, of course, don't get me wrong. In 3 weeks, will you you won't be getting any more new modules, of course, like because you're waiting for the peak period to net the most amount of modules you can have, but you'll be able to use all those funds that you've gained within let's just say a month's time, because like you're still gaining money even though you are doing the module event, or the 2 times galore little deal. Now, that with that being said, that is how the process and the progress of the game goes for us continuing players, and it's not bad. I don't mind it. Of course, other people would mind it for the fact that the game dropped off. There's a lot of other things like being locked behind speed being RNG, which is really helpful. The game is like far from pay to win. I mean, the most you could do is just go summon your butt off and go get a bunch of dupes of certain characters whenever their banners are up, or however you manage to get them. But you can't do nothing without the gear, and if the gear's not there, you can't like optimally play. So you got to still put time in. I mean, like lately with the hyper kernel little thing, that's kind of been disturbing a few people. But outside of that, I mean, the game's still good. I haven't had no issues with it. I mean, I still compete. I have not touched Mythic in RTA. I've kind of like comfortably sat within Masters 3. But of course, in like regular general arena, I hit Mythic every season with no issues. But RTA, I mean, RTA is getting even better and better. The longer you play, the better RTA gets, because as the more units you have built, the more variety you have, and it just takes time. Sadly, I think that's what people run into, is that there's a lot of games out there, like even your best game, like one of the games that I played, which would be Grand Cross, you still have to work 4 units to be able to use in the space. And then even Grand Cross has like about a multiple different ways to like increase gear to like a whole new next level that wasn't originally there from when I started playing. And you're just like, oh man, there's a whole nother resource to do just to step it up. And there is a bunch of pay to win options on Grand Cross. It's like screaming, throw money my way unless you just want to hang out. But with that being said, that's really all I have for this video. Again, this is another long video, but this is just about where Etheria stands monetarily with revenue and moving forward. I just don't see it really going to like tanker and go down. We're gonna be good as long as they keep the formula. I think the formula going into every 6 weeks. Now, don't get me wrong. We do need like probably more like really heavy hitter events that can generate money for them. I can see the way they're doing Hyperkernel. Hyperkernel has been really, really, really beneficial to them because they've made new ways to generate more ways for like you to buy and speed up progression within the Hyperkernel. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be like OP, because everything's still RNG with all your Hyperkernel stuff as far as like what you do with your components. But with that being said, the game is still worth playing. To me, it is. I've been playing it. I mean, I play it daily. As a matter of fact, as you can tell down here, my little icons down here. It's a good game. Definitely, you give it a look. It's not going anywhere. It's now, of course, it's not up here. It's not up here at the top, hanging out with Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Of course, it's not. And of course, it is crazy that this is like ran by the same freaking company. There's like with a whopping 70 freaking million that they've made. That's pretty cool. Of course, Honkai Star Rail just had their little event that just came by. So again, get in it, enjoy it. You're gonna like it. The PvP aspect is like pretty dope. It's lovable. There's no 50-50. Like you can summon on a banner, you're gonna get it. And you don't have to summon for a weapon. I think that's awesome. Or artifact, or whatever the hell that they want to call it in every other game. You just get the damn unit and make it happen. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. This is some Etheria restart like data and like my projections and moving forward with how they're going to do it. I do feel if you hang tight, and we got about another like week or so, and we are going to be seeing Sharon possibly. And Sharon, as a matter of fact, it's going to probably happen and drop on my birthday, and that's going to be pretty interesting because Sharon is a character or an NPC that's in the game as a boss, and it'd be really nice to see how she's implemented into the space of being able to be competitive, most likely an LD unit. So again, Y'all just hang tight and enjoy the game for what it is. And until next time, later.